The internet didn't convince two people they were in love. It convinced one woman that a TikTok creator she'd never spoken to was secretly in love with her. Not for a day, not for a week, for years. And she wasn't the only one keeping that belief alive. Thousands of strangers joined in. Some created fake accounts, others edited screenshots. Some pretended to be friends with the creator. Every time reality threatened to break the illusion, someone online showed up with another lie to reinforce it. By the end of it, this wasn't just an obsession. It had become one of the strangest examples of what can happen when social media stops observing someone and starts writing the story for them. Her name is Lauren Ambrose, better known online as Lauren Rose 212. If you've spent enough time scrolling through TikTok, chances are you've seen her before. Maybe it was a clip of one of her live streams, maybe someone stitched one of her videos, or maybe you only know her as the woman obsessed with Parker. But that description barely scratches the surface, because this story isn't really about stalking. It's about what happens when hundreds of anonymous people realize they can influence another person's reality simply by telling them what they want to hear. At the center of everything is Parker Lanosa, a TikTok creator Lauren became convinced she was secretly dating. According to Lauren, the relationship had to stay private. According to everyone else, there wasn't a relationship at all. Most people would expect that to end the story. Instead, it became the beginning. The internet saw someone willing to believe almost anything if it meant Parker loved her back, and some people decided to test just how far that belief could go. One fake account became several. Then came edited screenshots, fake messages, fake conversations. Every day there seemed to be another piece of proof that Parker was secretly communicating with her. The strange part wasn't that one person tried to fool her. It was that so many different people participated that the lies started reinforcing one another. Eventually, believing the truth became harder than believing the fiction. Then, someone pushed the situation far beyond internet comments. They convinced Lauren that Parker had purchased a plane ticket for her to fly from Wisconsin to Florida. All she had to do was show up at the airport. What happened next turned an already bizarre internet story into something millions of people would end up watching. By this point, the trolls had already figured something out. They didn't need believable lies, they just needed believable hope. There's a difference. If someone desperately wants something to be true, it doesn't take a perfect forgery to keep the story alive. It just takes another notification, another account claiming to know something, another person saying, "No, this time it's real." That was enough. So Lauren packed for a trip she genuinely believed had been arranged for her. The only problem, she doesn't drive. So the responsibility of getting her to the airport fell to someone who probably expected nothing more stressful that day than deciding what to have for lunch. Her 91-year-old grandmother. From the moment they reached the ticket counter, things started falling apart. The airline couldn't find the reservation. There wasn't a valid confirmation, no matching ticket, nothing. Lauren couldn't understand it. From her perspective, everything had already been confirmed. She'd been told the ticket existed. She'd been reassured it was legitimate. So if the airline couldn't find it, then clearly someone else must have interfered. That explanation made more sense to her than accepting she'd been deceived. Meanwhile, her grandmother started asking the kinds of questions everyone watching at home was probably asking too.
Ann was going to send a link to some website she said you know about.
Yes, it's about Reddit. It's about Reddit. Yes, already know about it. I'm on Reddit already. I already know.
But do you know that people make fun of you?
Yes, I know that.
Why do you go on there?
No, I don't go on there. They post about me on there.
Oh, from other places?
Yeah, from TikTok, yes.
Oh, there. So they make this.
Honestly, it's one of the most surreal parts of this entire story. A woman in her 90s who didn't grow up with smartphones, live streams, or TikTok grasped what was happening almost immediately. She recognized the possibility that strangers online were manipulating her granddaughter for entertainment. Meanwhile, the person who had spent years immersed in that online world couldn't see it. It's a strange reminder that understanding technology and understanding people aren't always the same thing. Lauren wasn't ready to let go. Instead of seeing missing ticket information as evidence she'd been tricked, she searched for another explanation. Maybe there was a technical error. Maybe someone canceled the reservation. Maybe Parker's account would explain everything. Anything except the possibility that the entire trip had been fabricated.
Why do you keep saying that people are making fun of me? I already know that, okay? Can you stop repeating that?
Why? And so they're waiting to see you arrive in Florida, and
I am not flying out tomorrow. I am not flying out tomorrow.
well, you're not doing it today.
Yes, I am.
They don't.
How are they not gonna allow it? It is a real ticket.
Watching it unfold is uncomfortable because there isn't really a winner. Lauren is visibly upset. Her grandmother is trying to make sense of a situation she never asked to be part of. And somewhere behind anonymous usernames, the people responsible are almost certainly watching the live stream, seeing just how far their prank has gone. Eventually, someone joined the live stream and told Lauren what had become painfully obvious. The ticket wasn't real. She'd almost certainly been trolled. For a brief moment, it looked like reality might finally break through. Instead, Lauren doubled down. Even after leaving the airport, she couldn't shake the belief that there had to be another explanation. Because once you've built an entire reality around one idea, admitting it's false doesn't just change one belief, it changes everything that came before it.
Grandma, what is Ann saying? What are you and Ann talking about? You're going there? Fine, I'm going with you because I can't go anywhere.
Well, where you are though, you're going to have lunch
No,
or
I'm
dinner.
not going to have dinner at whatever place. I'm going home. That's where I'm fucking going. Because if it was a fake Parker, wouldn't he have like showed everything of what I wrote on freaking Reddit? Oh, my chat and everything, and share my freaking secret account name?
The drive home should have been the moment everything clicked. The ticket didn't exist. The airline couldn't find it. Nothing about the trip had been real. Most people would have gone home embarrassed, blocked a few accounts, and spent the next 6 months pretending none of it ever happened. That is not what happened. Instead, Lauren started looking for reasons why the plan had failed. Maybe someone canceled the ticket. Maybe trolls interfered at the last minute. Maybe Parker was still trying to make it work behind the scenes. When every outcome can be explained away, there's never a reason to question the original belief. And that's exactly what made this situation so dangerous. The internet had created a reality where every contradiction became more evidence. If Parker didn't respond, he was protecting the relationship. If the ticket didn't exist, someone sabotaged it. If people said she was being trolled, that just proved they were trying to keep them apart. It's the kind of logic that's impossible to argue with because every attempt to disprove it gets absorbed into the story itself. Eventually, the airport incident spread far beyond Lauren's audience. Clips started circulating across TikTok. Reaction channels picked it up. People who had never heard of Lauren suddenly knew her as the airport woman. And naturally, everyone started asking the same question. What does Parker think about all of this? Up until that point, Parker had mostly stayed quiet. That doesn't mean he was unaware of it. Quite the opposite. His comment sections had become a dumping ground for edited photos, fake messages, and constant references to Lauren. Imagine opening your notifications every morning and finding hundreds of strangers insisting you're dating someone you've never even met. That joke probably gets old around notification number 3.
Some fucking weird shit that people like put me together with a girl that I never even talked to a day in my damn life. And like it's so fucking weird. You guys think it's funny, like you guys are laughing in the chat. It's so fucking weird, bro.
Why are you letting it get to you?
Because bro, they're flooding my chat. Oh, you guys are going going
Lauren is flying out to you tomorrow, they said.
She's coming to visit you, bro. I'm I already deal with this 4 times. I'm not dealing with this shit, chat.
Lauren's coming to visit you tomorrow?
Honestly, it's hard not to sympathize with him here. People online love treating creators like fictional characters. If something is entertaining enough, they stop thinking about the fact there's an actual person on the other side of the screen. For the audience, it's a meme. For Parker, it became part of his everyday life. Moderators had to mute Lauren's name. Streams got interrupted, chat was flooded. What started as trolling one person had quietly turned into harassing another, and somehow none of this slowed Lauren down. If anything, the silence made her more convinced. She continued posting about Parker, talking about him, referring to him as if they were still together. At this point, you'd assume there wouldn't be room in Lauren's life for anyone else. After all, she'd spent years believing she was in a secret relationship. Case closed. Except, this rabbit hole had another tunnel hiding underneath it. Because while Lauren believed Parker was the love of her life, she was also somehow managing to date multiple other people. And somehow, that part of the story is almost as bizarre as everything you've heard so far. One of the most notable was a man named Antoine. Unlike Parker, Antoine actually had a real relationship with Lauren, or at least as real as anything in this story ever manages to be. The two announced they were engaged. On paper, that's a pretty normal life update. In practice, it raised far more questions than it answered.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So, we want to make an announcement. So, me and Antoine are now engaged. Aren't we, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Last night. Now, no, he did not propose.
No.
When he'll propose when he gets the money for a ring.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, that's when he's going to propose. We have not made a video yet of him proposing.
The announcement itself is confusing enough, but then Lauren explains that Antoine hasn't actually proposed yet. Apparently, the proposal would happen later, once there was a ring, which creates a fascinating philosophical question. Can you announce an engagement before the engagement actually happens? It's like declaring you've won a marathon because you're planning on running one next weekend. Eventually, the proposal did happen, or something resembling a proposal happened.
Okay. Get out of my knee. Down on my knee. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. You have to ask me a question?
Yes.
What's your question?
You were the love of my life.
Oh.
And I appreciate everything.
You what?
I appreciate
Oh,
everything you've done.
okay.
And I appreciate you.
You appreciate me.
Yes, everything you've done. And I cannot find no one else like you. And I knew we've been breaking up and getting back together a lot.
Yes.
But we are still trying to hold on.
Yep, we are.
And I just want to say I love you so much. Will you marry me?
You have to open this. Aw, of course I'll marry you.
Watching it feels less like witnessing a spontaneous romantic moment and more like watching someone rehearse a school presentation they forgot about until 5 minutes before class. Every sentence pauses for approval. Every line sounds carefully coached. The whole thing has the energy of an employee reading a customer service script while secretly wondering how they ended up there. Then another detail surfaced. The engagement ring looked strangely familiar. Not because it was particularly unique, because it had already appeared before, in another proposal, with another man. Same ring, different fiancé. That's the kind of detail that would sound made up if it were in a sitcom, yet here it somehow fits perfectly into the rest of this story. Still, maybe none of that really mattered. Relationships are messy, people move on, life gets complicated. Except Lauren's attention never really moved away from Parker. While publicly building relationships with other men, she continued talking about Parker as though he remained the person she was truly meant to be with. And according to people who followed the situation closely, trolls recognized another opportunity. If they could convince Lauren that Parker wanted something, she often listened. Eventually, that influence reportedly extended to her real-life relationships.